Greetings, everyone. So, tomorrow there is a new MCU movie coming out called Thunderbolts, or the Thunderbolts. And it has a character that I've drawn a lot of in the past, called Ghost, Ava Starr. And I really liked the way that character looked previous to this movie. I haven't really spent a lot of time truly studying the latest version of it. Now, I'm just going to sort of sketch out a couple of things here, kind of quick, regarding the character of Ghost, and then maybe we can, I don't know, figure out a couple of things. So, one of the things that I like the best about drawing that character is the look of the little red sort of eyes. Now, they're not really eyes, I suppose. They were kind of like sensors or something like that. But I don't know, I thought that visually, anyway, it was striking. I'm just doodling this reasonably fast. It's not really going to be perfectly accurate either. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell with the night vision goggles, and Shinobi, which was a video game that came out a while ago, where the main ninja had like 6 eyes, which I thought were really cool. Anyway, over the years, there's been a lot of different versions of this character. And I'm going to kind of doodle them out, or at least the look of them, if I can. As I said, I've drawn this one a whole bunch. So I don't need a reference for it. Although I could probably use one. It's kind of an egg-shaped head with the hood. A little something like that. And so I think this character is actually pretty cool looking. And I think it has sort of a unique look to it. Something like that, right? Another version, although wait, let me, before I do that, because this is my favorite thing. let's put those in as red dots, because that just looks cool. And then on the lower body, although I should probably fill that in just a little bit more. Sort of like a scaling effect on the arms for the armor. Here, kind of a lighter blue. Anyway, other versions had kind of like Spider-Man eyes. So like, again, we'd have like a hood with kind of like an egg-shaped opening. So let's say it looks a little bit like this. And then the face, a little like that. Right? But like I said, it had kind of like a Spider-Man kind of thing going on with it, with that large, sort of that eye look that Spider-Man has. But then to take away from that, they split it up underneath the eye, which, you know, whatever. We know where you got the reference from. So it would look a little bit like that. And this one would have like a similar kind of chest armor. Oh, I don't think you often get to see me sort of sketch like this. I don't always sketch like this, but this is how I get quick ideas down. And they're not going to be very refined. And be a strap like that. It would have like a utility sort of need of it, kind of like that, right? So that's another version of what Ghost would look like. But I think this one, for the movie, let me dip this pen here again. They actually, I think they borrowed features of it. We zip along here. I think they borrowed features of this one for the latest costume. For some reason, it has like this flank sort of, I don't know what you'd want to call this. It would be something that you'd see out here from like Assassin's Creed. Might have. You know what I mean? Something like that, whereas like the old one from the movie, rather than have these sort of like free-flowing things here, it would just have built into the leggings, sort of like the markings of that. You know what I mean? Kind of like that. And well, the last one I'll do very quickly here. Often what I would have seen in the comics was a face more like, well, maybe not exactly like Psycho Mantis from like Metal Gear Solid, but it would have difficulty breathing. So this version of Ghost had sort of like a gas mask. Something like that. And then let me get the red marker again. Like that. So I sat around and I watched the trailer over and over again for the new movie. And I'm going to attempt to draw a version of what I think the new Ghost might look like. But I'm going to kind of make, yeah, I don't know. There's no way that I can really figure this out perfectly. But I'm going to use sort of like Snake Eyes, Cobra Commander, a fencing outfit, as well as that last or second last version. Anyway, so this is what my attempt at what I think the new Ghost might look like, and I'm going to kind of do the sketch of it, and so it's not going to be beautiful. And maybe I'll, have some refinement as well. It has what I'm going to call little lights sort of near the cheeks. Like that. It would be hooded as well, but the hood can actually lay down, and it might actually have some sort of like automatic features. That's sort of what it looks like in the trailer. And as I said, it looks like they have the crossbody strap. and a bit of that chest plate. More sort of like ab armor. Now, I didn't really get to see weaponry other than, like, you know, some sort of firearm. So I don't really know. Actually, I do. There was like a short little knife. Let's see about that. Kind of like a dagger. Something like that. A outrageous utility belt. And dip my pen again. As I said, there's this sort of like, I don't even know what they want to call this sort of thing. It's almost like the tails that you would have in a trench coat. Now, I don't know if there are knee pads. Now, I do believe that the boots are gosseted like that. So not quite snake eyes. And I would also say that primarily looks to be mainly dressed in black. Little hints of silver or something like that too, but with this sort of a gaiter over the foot. So now that's what I gather from the trailer that I've watched several times. Yeah, sort of a silver mask with like 3 little lights on either side that look almost like earrings. And a hood that can fold down. So now I'm just tossing in a little bit more detail just for fun. We'll see how this movie goes. I'm sure to be good. Although some of the movies that they've done, the MCU, I don't know. I really enjoyed that they did Moon Knight. But that was like such a weird standalone thing. It was enjoyable anyway. Just like a almost like a Halloween special kind of. And make sure that those boots. Okay. I think that's kind of about it. I can't really think of anything else until the movie comes out. I can't really think of any other details. You don't get much in the trailer. But as I said, I do really enjoy that character. I don't remember if there's, no, let's put in some like this. I don't remember if there's special detail other than these little silver something or others here. I think these are kind of sectioned off. Maybe referencing the other one, kind of like a funny stop sign. Huh. Okay. I think the last name is spelled like this. The one who plays Ava Starr. It's two R's. A, K, A. Ghost. Let's add some other. Oh, that's my buddy Neville letting me know that we're just coming along closer to 30 minutes. We're at like, yeah. Anyway, I'm finishing up, Neville. I know. Well, let's see what we can do here. As I said, it seems to be just pretty much all very dark. Whereas the ghost character before was mostly gray. I mean, this is much stealthier. Utility belt's a bit much. Another character that really got a revamping for the new movie is the Taskmaster, which is one character that I don't know what I really think of. I believe the skill of the Taskmaster is that they would have the ability to mimic all the best fighting styles of anybody that they would have seen perform those fighting styles. So other than super duper moves, I don't think they'd have all the strength that would be associated with that either. I'm just going to muddy this up just a little bit. So something that seems to be a concern amongst people is the use of artificial intelligence for creating artwork. And I suppose the question that one might ask is, can artificial intelligence create art? I think the simple answer is no, mainly because I'm under the impression that computers, when you give it the task to find things, it will take compilations of known artworks. So just bits and pieces of things that already exist. It's not really going to create something new. So in that way, I don't really think it's creating as much as it is just compositing things. I don't really think that's awesome. But anyway. As I said, I don't really have all the details on this character yet, for doodle's sake. other than just watching the trailer over and over and over again. So you get this sort of fencing Cobra Commander, Deathstroke. I don't know. But yeah, basically faceless. There you go. That is my own not so accurate version of Ghost from the upcoming movie Thunderbolts. Last thing I'm going to do is just put some of the detail back in that I took away with the brush. Yeah, and I don't know what these flaps are called. This would be part of the hood. There'd be collar underneath here. And if we're lucky, we'll see what happens with Dr. Doom. And the Thunderbolts, if they're going to be involved in that project as well. Now let's see. I think that's it. I don't think I'm going to do anything more than that. A little under 35 minutes with a doodle from memory from watching the trailer a bunch of times. I hope that's close enough. I guess we'll see when the movie comes out. Thanks for hanging out for a minute or so. And I hope you have a wonderful day.